how do you approach relationships with this kind of background?
I think when it comes to dating, it is important for me at this point, and that's probably a recent realization where I know that I want to come home and be able to completely surrender and not have to lead that. The women in India, the wives, the mothers, they are always conditioned to do for others.
You're sharing a lot about your retreats or your improv, but no one really hears about the things you're doing behind the scenes.
The AQI and planting trees, where we're partnered with the Emerald Sustainable Foundation, where again, as I mentioned, at the cost of a coffee, someone will go and do all of the work for you. So I think time is a big resource, time is a resource, money is a resource, mental bandwidth is a resource. And I guess how much ever of that you can dedicate, the goal for me is to be able to be that person that bridges the gap.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the House of Yoga podcast presented by Yama Yoga. My name is Gavi Kanani. I am your host and founder. I founded this podcast to share with you organic conversations I'm already having with people around well-being and consciousness. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Mallika, also known as Molly. She is also a yoga teacher, running retreats around the world, doing a lot of impactful nonprofit work, and she also does improv comedy shows here in Mumbai. I'm really excited for today's conversation because she has grown up in multiple different places, coming from an army background. And like me, we have been trying to create home around the world, but also within ourselves. So we're going to be talking about that, different ways to stay grounded. And also we're going to be talking about how to run retreats around the world and dating when we're in this conscious world of living. So lots to talk about. Mallika, welcome onto the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good.
Yeah.
Really happy to have you. So Mallika, we start every episode with a meditation for us to ground and sync each other up. Also for our listeners to align with our energy. So would you like to join me with that?
Absolutely.
Great. So let's just keep ourselves sitting upright if you can. And if you feel comfortable, let's close your eyes and begin the meditation. You can roll your shoulders back and just focus on your heart in today's meditation. Can you feel your chest rising and falling? With each breath in and out. Can you feel your heart beating in your chest? How does your heart feel right now? Just notice. And let's try to create some space in this area. Taking a deep breath in right into your chest. Feel your lungs filling up with air and just feel this expansion. Exhale, release, let it go with a big sigh from the mouth. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and release and let go. Bring your hands on top of your heart. And just set an intention for yourself for this day, or maybe for this podcast. How would you like to feel? And take a deep breath into your intention. And exhale, let it go. bring your hands together to Namaste. And when you're ready, bow down and gently open your eyes. Hi.
Hi.
How are you feeling now?
Very good. Thank you for leading that.
Pleasure. It was really nice having you in class the other day as well.
It was so nice to finally be able to attend one.
Yeah.
I had a really good evening, a really good Valentine's Day / Galentine's Day.
Yeah, it's all about love, whatever form it is.
Yeah.
We had a yin yoga and sound healing session, which Mallika joined and graced us with her presence. It was lovely having you. I'm excited to join one of your sessions soon as well.
I'm looking forward, soon.
Cool. So let's just talk about getting right into it. Like, how do you stay grounded in your life? You've moved a lot of times, I think, as a child, and you've lived in Goa for a while, but you feel that Mumbai is a place you need to be right now. At the same time, you refer to it as a black hole, which I definitely relate to.
It's really a black hole.
Yeah, we both feel like we need to be here. We want to be here. There's a lot of opportunities for us, but it does suck you in sometimes and you have to get out of it too.
It really does.
So how do you keep yourself grounded?
I think it's a daily practice. And I think I'm really happy that this is a candid chat. Because even though we are people that hold space for other people, I do feel like we need to keep ourselves grounded, and that's
100%.
not always perfect, right? There are days where I don't find myself that grounded, or you don't wake up that grounded, or you miss a part of your routine that sort of stirs you away. But I think reminding yourself to stay at the place you want to be at when you find yourself straying, and coming back to that center, which is just sort of setting an intention like we just did, right? It could be with our day, it could be for the next hour, it could be a long-term goal, a 5-year goal.
Yeah.
And just sort of trying to embody the person and how that person would show up having done that. So I think I keep taking myself to the future. That helps me stay grounded. I think small amounts of breath work, movement, music, feeling your emotions helps you stay grounded too. A lot of the times we avoid negative emotions. So letting it wash over you without attaching to them somehow brings you back to center.
Yeah. How do you not attach to an emotion?
By reminding yourself that it's going to come and it's going to go and it's transient. And again, it sounds easier said than done, because when you're feeling an emotion very strongly, in that moment, it is your reality.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you are feeling it very deeply. And it is tough to remind yourself that it's going to wash over you. But I think just the tools of breath, meditation, training you for detachment, where you're almost able to observe the emotion come and go.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, cool, yeah. And putting a name to it.
Yeah.
And going closer to the painful ones, rather than running away from them, like clearing an evening to sit with an anxiety.
Yeah.
And feeling it out.
It's such a brave thing to do.
And kind of kills you. But makes you funnier.
Yeah, makes you funnier. So how do you use that then in your improv comedy shows? Like, what does that look like?
So during improv, I don't take myself to dark places, because then it'll just be a really sad show for somebody to watch. But I think training your mind for presence is something that holds true for the performing arts and for what we do otherwise. How do I use it for improv? I don't know. I think it just comes out. I think more than improv, it's stand-up. I had a phase where I dabbled in stand-up, which is when I realized that sometimes when you're having a really bad mental health day, you'll have a really good stand-up comedy day. And as somebody who works with mental health, I think improv is a more inclusive, friendly, and just more collaborative form of comedy.
Right.
Like if you're sitting on the front row of an improv show, no one's going to heckle you. You'll feel more involved with the art form.
Right.
So coming back to the comedy, it does make you a little bit funnier the more you're able to deal with trauma. And I think growing from it, like just knowing that something really painful today, 6 months or 6 years basis of how painful it is, will be funny to some degree.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to remember that in the moment, but I think
in the moment,
the more we go through it, the more we'll start to have that approach to it. You know, Brian just came on the podcast. Brian is a mindset coach. If you haven't seen that episode, you should definitely check it out. And you guys also work together.
Yes.
Something he recommended me to try is improv, but it honestly like terrifies me because I've always liked acting, like being in front of the camera in different ways, but the idea of just being fully on the spot, I know this is somewhat that, but it's a conversation. Having an audience like right in front of me, it just terrifies me, but maybe I should come to one of...
Well, I'm doing a workshop day after tomorrow or tomorrow, so I'd love to have you.
Okay. I'm scared.
This is a very candid conversation, guys.
Okay, nice. And why do you think it will help other people, like anyone who would also want to try it?
It's a collaborative form of communication, and our brains are usually wired to know but situations and question situations based on our own existing beliefs. Improv trains the yes and muscle. Just like everything is, you know, when you're doing a lot of yoga, you don't feel it that much. When you're repeatedly training your mind to accept information and add information and sort of hold this collaborative thread where you're not completely negating somebody, it just helps you hold space for people. It helps you lead teams better, and just works on your overall relationships, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. A lot of benefits there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we spoke about intentions, and you mentioned about like long-term intentions. What would you say if you could put that in one sentence? What would be your long-term intention, your Sankalpa?
Wow, that makes me feel like I have so many, for starters. But I think to really condense it is to be able to create my life and express myself and express that life with complete authenticity, inspiring others and creating real impact.
Yeah. And then your dharma? Are they the same thing? Same intention, same purpose?
I would feel like as you work on yourself, being able to create with a place of authenticity, expression and impact, I feel like your dharma comes into that as well, because that then becomes your duty to yourself. The more you're able to do it for yourself, the more you want to uplift others, and somehow, you know, sort of be that beacon of light. Like, okay, if this person could do it, maybe I can do it. And that just sort of happens. I think the more you work on yourself, I think, you know, I'm not going to get into collective consciousness and everything, but I do feel like you feel this inner urge to uplift and inspire. 100%. Which is why working on yourself is, some people look at it as selfish, because a lot of women are also taught to give a lot, right? So especially in India, like, we are living in a very privileged part of India, but, you know, I think the women in India, the wives, the mothers, they are always conditioned to do for others.
Yeah.
But the more you do for yourself, the more you can actually uplift those around you. So I think just finding that within you.
100%. But you're so right about collective consciousness, which you touched on. Like, we are all one and we are uplifting each other, sometimes not even consciously. And one of the biggest things that we can do is to share it, right?
Absolutely.
Before I ask you about how you do that, I also just want to share, like, I've just been to Dubai for my friend Brinda's wedding. You guys might have seen her on the podcast as well. And it was just such a beautiful time. But also it was a really, really good break for me, because I feel like you probably can relate to it. Like, we're doing our own thing all the time, trying to give back as much as we can. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet we both really enjoy it. Yeah. But you do have to take that pause and just, like, you know, refresh.
Absolutely.
And that was for me like a trip where I wasn't really practicing much consciousness per se. I was very present, but I think I just really enjoyed myself. And my flatmate and friend always tells me, like, the highest form of meditation is actually just having fun and enjoying yourself. And I think that has recharged me so much. Like, I've come back to Mumbai with much better energy, and it feels really nice. So
I completely get it.
Yeah.
Because I think life in Bombay gets really hectic and your calendar packs up all the time.
It does.
Whether it's social events or given the fact that I do all of the things I do, there's just always something happening, and reminding yourself to slow down and step away.
Yeah.
Really helps.
I hope you have a trip soon. I know you've been wanting to do that too.
Hopefully, this month.
Talking about collective consciousness, one of the things you do with SVYA is giving back and doing this in an intentional, impactful way. Can you talk a bit about how that looks like? Because I know you're sharing a lot about, your retreats or your improv, but no one really hears about the things you're doing behind the scenes. And I know you've kind of done that purposefully because it is a really beautiful thing to not like brag about it or show it off. But I would really love to know what you're doing.
Thank you. That's a very kind question. And I think one of the reasons we connect is because I know you come from a similar school of thought, and massive respect.
Thank you.
But I think creating the brand, I wanted it to have a little bit of everything I do. And for the longest time, I think I sounded very scattered. I'm an actor, a comedian, and I teach people yoga and meditation in the morning and then do stand-up sometimes at 10 p.m. So it's not a very usual combination of professions.
But that's fun.
It's kind of fun. And a bit insane, all at the same time, just like life. but yeah, I think I work with a lot of high achievers, and I'm really privileged to have clients that sometimes don't even know that they double up as mentors for me, and just, making that time, being able to pick my clientele. I realized that I don't want to limit myself to just working with some kind of clients or only working with HNIs, whether it's the workshops around expression, leadership, wellness. I wanted to find a way to bridge the gap between the people that have the resources and the ones that really need them. And also creating a community of people that embody and empower change.
Yeah.
Right? They empower themselves and hence embody the change that they want to see. Because I come from an army background and I'm a patriot for sure. But I also realized that every time I'm traveling abroad and I come back to Bombay, it takes you a while to get used to the roads. The traffic, the dirt, the stench. Wow, this is not how I expected this conversation to go. But then, when you talk to somebody, there's always, you're going to leave the country. But how many people are really willing to be like, if I make this one change, maybe I could lead something. Oh, the AQI is bad. At the cost of a coffee, I could make a small difference to that. So through the brand, at this point, I'm partnered with foundations that work with underprivileged children. I'm doing a talk on Women's Day for like 35 women that come from marginalized, underprivileged backgrounds, and telling them that they can embody the women that they want to be. Or we organize similar talks for these underprivileged children. We recently took them for a piano recital at the Royal Opera House. We partnered with the lovely people that curate events over there. The second thing we're doing is we're working with wildlife and conservation. When I lived in Goa, I used to assist a lot of reptile and snake rescues for 2 years in my life. And I was actively very excited to sort of learn about that and assist these Goan people that, told people to not kill the snake and look at it and just sort of release it into nature.
Yeah.
So that's the other kind of NGOs that we're partnered with. And the third one is around the AQI and planting trees, where we're partnered with the Emerald Sustainable Foundation, where again, as I mentioned, at the cost of a coffee, someone will go and do all of the work for you. So after every workshop, retreat, session, working with people that are helping our country develop in terms of making buildings, also reminding them that this is something that we do and we open it up for you.
Amazing.
So in some small way, shape or form, making that difference. It hasn't scaled to the level I wanted to, but doing at least 3 impact initiatives every month. As the team grows, dedicating people, I have an Amika on my team right now that's leading the social impact so that I can focus on making some bank as well and doing the workshops and helping drive the change we do. So yeah, I do believe that, and again, I think it also helps people feel better. you know, rather
100%.
than cribbing about a problem, trying to be a part of the solution. Another part of, you know, just your own mindset. It's very important to, when you find yourself going into the depths of like problems and nitpicking, because it happens to the best of us, right? Even us who work on ourselves and our minds. I know how I am 2 days before my period, right? Possessed by a demon entity. Reminding myself that, okay, these thoughts come and
It's
go.
the worst. I honestly feel like those couple days before suck even more than like
they do, because
days
things
on.
just feel more and you're like more bitchy and more venti, but then sort of reminding yourself.
I'm literally like watering up at the thought of it.
I know, and then it starts and you're like, oh, no wonder. Oh, I should call that first.
You have that relief.
Yeah.
So overall, the work that you were doing is very solution oriented, as you mentioned.
Yes.
How can we get our hands on as well and help you?
I think just reaching out to me or on our Instagram page and, you know, telling us in any way that you could create impact, even in terms of, you know, a skill set that you would want to share.
Yeah.
I think the idea is to make it more doable.
Yeah.
Right? Do I have the bandwidth to now dedicate my life to only social impact? I don't, because I got to live in Bombay.
Yeah, you gotta pay your bills.
And pay my bills and live in Bandra and all of that. But I think just finding a solution again to how much you're comfortable with, which might look like 30 minutes a week for somebody or 30 minutes in 3 months for somebody. But if you have those 30 minutes, I could arrange a talk for you or connect you to the right person. Or if you don't have 30 minutes and you have 350 rupees, I will connect you to somebody who will plant a tree that is actually going to change the AQI of Bombay to some small degree.
Amazing.
And yeah, I think it's just about the resources. I think time is a big resource. Time is a resource. Money is a resource.
Yeah.
Mental bandwidth is a resource. 100%. And I guess how much ever of that you can dedicate.
Yeah.
The goal for me is to be able to be that person that bridges the gap.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're doing this.
I'm so glad you're doing everything as well. Like it's
No, but I really feel like this is necessary and I really think you should talk about it more. So I'm glad and I really hope this platform helps to just expose it more, because I sometimes get really sad about just the city that we live in. The AQI is, the air quality index is over 200 all the time. And you just want to be able to go for a walk without feeling like it's going to damage your lungs. Because
absolutely,
we both love walking, right? Like
at the same park, actually, a lot of the times.
But it's just, it would be so nice to feel like we can go out and it's good for our health.
Absolutely.
And just that. But some people live on the streets. So it's about making it livable and enjoyable for everybody. So I'm really glad that you're doing something about it. And
thank you.
Excited to get on board with you. Let's talk about it in the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really beautiful. And I want to know about your spiritual journey. I know a bit about your intentions and what you're giving to the world, but what are you personally working on right now within yourself and your spirituality?
I think maintaining a state and embodying, as I mentioned earlier, something that I'm actively working on, and I think I do that every day. That could be short term or long term, but trying to live my life from a more B to A approach, where if B is where I want to get, how should I be when I'm at A?
I love that. So simply put.
Yeah. And not the easiest thing to do, because you're also training your mind for presence and not evading emotions, and because, you know, feeling something deeply and not getting into the whole cycle of toxic positivity, but really knowing that the human existence is basically all of these different shades of life states and emotions, some positive, some negative, being able to observe them. So the identification, which is why SVYA, which comes from Swadhyaya and self-study. So studying those states, really, trying to work on the capacity to not associate with them, and living from the person that I want to be.
Yeah.
That would be something I'm working on. Yeah.
Lovely. And, you know, all of this we're doing on our own, slightly on our own. Like, of course, we have amazing friends and family, and the work that we're doing is obviously with other people. In some ways, it does put us in our masculine energy, if you want to say, because we are responsible. And that is an amazing thing. We're high achieving individuals and we love it. This responsibility, sometimes we also want to have someone to share it with, and not just in terms of work, but maybe through dating someone.
Yes.
How do you approach relationships with this kind of background?
I think the fact that I've had a background where I've moved around a lot, has led me to create a home anywhere, but also be able to say goodbye. Does it hurt as much every time? Probably yes. Not that I do it thrice a month, you guys, but but the truth is that any goodbye when you're leaving a space, it is painful.
For sure.
Coming back to your question about living in a more masculine state, I think firstly being in touch with your feminine and masculine side is really important. Now that I'm a CEO and I walk around the city in blazers striking deals, I do feel like I'm pretty masculine at this point, because I'm sitting around all these men and talking shop and closing
it's
things.
not just a masculine thing. It's
absolutely, but I think it's about the art of initiation and being able to know what you want out of something and wording yourself that way.
Yeah.
And being okay with having an innocent approach, but an intention towards what you want out of a meeting, right? That being said, the feminine state is more a state of surrender, right? And I think when it comes to dating, it is important for me at this point, and that's probably a recent realization, where I know that I want to come home and be able to completely surrender and not have to lead that.
Yes.
And I think we're living in an age where a lot of women, and this has been said by so many women on so many podcasts, I'm just going to throw it in here again, is that women are actually choosing now based off of emotional availability, based off of that feeling of being held and safety.
Trust.
Right?
Nervous
system. Like, how do you feel around that person? Especially when we're already fighting our own demons. We're coming out of, generations of women that have been trained to not put themselves first, that have been trained to pit themselves against each other, or, all of those things. We're outgrowing so many patterns. We're putting ourselves first. We're trying to be in touch with our emotions. We're trying to lead companies and not just sit at home. We're trying to really achieve our dreams and be like, we have equal footing. And again, we're a very privileged section of society.
Yeah.
A woman in a village in Bihar is not having these conversations because she doesn't have that option.
Yeah.
But women today can actually do it all on their own. So I think knowing what you want out of a relationship, knowing that it's a partnership between two people, and it's important for the woman to be held in her femininity, which sometimes is utter chaos.
Yeah, and sometimes it is that 2 days before our
2
period.
days before, yes. And especially if you have
horrible.
a 3 to 4 week cycle, then it's safe to say that there's a 1 in 4 chance you meet somebody and they could be a bitch. But you know what? Let's not judge them for it.
Yeah.
There's a 1 in 4 chance. And I think more women need to talk about it. Right? I'm not feeling my best. Why are we hiding sanitary napkins in black plastic bags? We should take it out and we should be like, fuck with me. Here's my Whisper Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's enough going on.
Yeah.
Life is giving me enough. Yeah. Right? So I think a man being able to hold you through those phases. And, as a woman, I mean, none of us are going through it, but I hear perimenopause comes.
Yeah.
And I don't hear pretty things about it. Like all my girlfriends.
Bless my mom.
Yeah. And then there's menopause and there's all of these things. So I feel like if a woman is able to keep her sanity on her own, she should do that if she's comfortable living her life alone. And if she does want to include a man, she should be upfront about her needs, about the volatility that comes with our hormones and our femininity.
But also that sanity stays. We want it to, I think, from my understanding, we have it on our own.
Yes.
but we also would like it with a man who is able to maintain that too, and not drive us the other way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think men are amazing. I think a lot of men have evolved to understand the needs of women. And I think it's also important to realize that a lot of men haven't seen this as well. So I think it's interesting and lovely when a man approaches it with curiosity, trying to understand, trying to be better, trying to not repeat generational patterns.
Yeah. They're also, like you said, it's different for them because they've been used to being the CEOs and the ones who are like running things. And now they're like, how do I step up to a woman who also provides for herself?
Yeah.
But also I want to match her and like be there for her.
Yes.
Harder moments and create that soft, safe space for her to be all the shades that she is.
Yes.
So yeah, best of luck for you, for us both.
Yeah, both of us,
for finding that. And lastly, I just want to touch on retreats. So you're doing them around the world, and I'd love to hear a bit about how they're going, but also for other yoga teachers or healers in this space, what would be your tips for just doing it? Because I personally really want to do it, but there's always been this block where I'm like slightly perfectionist mindset of I want to put on the best retreat for my clients because they're the best. But like, how do I actually do that? So there's a block there.
Fair enough. I think first of all, you're not alone in the perfection thing. Like, it's something that I work on actively every day.
Yeah.
Progress over perfection, and progress happens when I think the hurt of not doing something is more than the hurt of messing it up. That's when you take progress, when it starts to mess with you more, to just stay stagnated. That being said, I think perfection and planning to some degree makes sense, but there's always going to be things that don't work out. For somebody that's looking to create these experiences, I think the idea is to look at it as a complete production, head to toe, creating the experience from the time the person arrives to the time that they leave, understanding their emotional arc, understanding where in the world it is, what the temperature is going to be, understanding whether you want it to be really basic and raw, which is also lovely, or if you're catering to a different kind of clientele, you want to kind of work with hospitality and a bit of luxury and finesse. Again, that comes in with your positioning and with what your clientele and intention is. I think finding a niche that really works for you. I know what you do and what you specialized in, but I think just finding that, and for me it is, the fact that I will sit and have the deepest conversation with you on a philosophy concept, but I'll make a complete ass out of myself and be okay with that when I'm doing improv with you at the same retreat. And making you understand the joy and not taking yourself too seriously is also important. So I think finding your niche, and I think being open to doing it for the end results that you want people to see, or rather doing it from a perspective, how do you want a person to leave the retreat? Do you want them to leave with a small practice that they can carry home that removes their dependency from a teacher? Do you want them to leave with something from an improv session around collaborative communication, something they gathered through art therapy with expression, or through dancing and release of emotion through intuitive movement, another one of our sessions. So I think working on all of these parameters, treating it as a production, thinking of customer experience, thinking of the scale, is the way to go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any retreats coming up?
Well, I'm planning a few this year.
Yeah.
I will keep you posted.
Cool. Yeah. I would love to share about it.
That would be amazing.
And would love to just have all your links in the description so everyone can come find you.
That would be great.
Learn from you in all the different modalities that you're offering.
Yeah.
To wrap up the episode, firstly, it's been really, really lovely and loved having you here.
Thank you.
I'd love to invite you to share one of your practices that we can all practice with you just now.
Yes, absolutely. We we can actually practice the same technique that I spoke to you about, staying in your end state. Just get into a meditative posture, facial features relaxed, softening the eyelids, the jaw, and the gaze of the eyes behind the eyelids. Letting go of any sense of effort or any doing energy, and arriving at a state of being here, now. Observing your breath without trying to control it. And now thinking of an intention. Maybe there's something you're trying to achieve. Maybe there's a state of peace you want to feel. Maybe it's a relationship that's making you second guess where you stand. Whatever it might be for you, taking a moment to come there. And now visualizing how it would feel if this was done. How would you feel in your body? How would you go about your day? Really feeling that sense of peace within. Maybe creating a scenario in your life that would exist if this feeling was accomplished or this task was reached. The sense of being held. Maybe people congratulating you. People inspired by you. And really embodying that being achieved in the window of your mind. Trying to engage all your senses. And now staying with that feeling of it fulfilled within you. And knowing that the longer you can stay in this state, and the more you can bring yourself to this state, you will continue to take inspired action in that direction. Inspired by embodiment. And really expressing that emotion or that success through your body, through your breath, staying in that state, and knowing that that state exists within you, knowing that you are the creator and the creation, and feeling really empowered by that knowledge. Gently taking the hands in Namaste.
Thank you.
As we begin to chant Om 3 times, deep breath into the belly. Rubbing your palms together and gently cupping your eyes, blinking and releasing. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's lovely.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a lovely conversation.
So much fun.
I'll have all of your links down below, and I just want to share with the audience that we are both wearing Yama Yoga, these beautiful clothes.
It's really soft.
They're so soft. Mali's first time wearing it.
Yeah, it's great.
Hopefully not your last.
No, my last for sure.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next Thursday with another episode. Namaste.